We're doing a before and after test with the Honda Grom. You guys probably know I already have the Yoshimura race exhaust on here. I have the TST Works intake. Now, I just ordered the DHM ECU flash, and so I'm going to test before and after to see how big of a difference that ECU flash makes. And should you invest? Because you can get your current ECU reflash, you have to mail it into DHM, or you can just order a new ECU. That's what I did. They're based out of Florida, so we got here real quick. But we're doing a before and after, but we have to test the acceleration here first to see if we're going to get some big gains on the DHM ECU flash on the Honda Grom with the, well, this is technically a stage 1. They do other flashes of the software. You can get the, the cam as well, which I didn't want to mess with the cam. It's not that hard to install, but the cam is definitely like probably an extra 1 to 2 horsepower, which, when from the factory, when you're only packing about 8 or 9 horsepower, it's a big deal. There's 62, and I'm gonna slow down. That's about where it's gonna be. I felt like I got there a lot easier than I did completely bone stock. I remember hitting 61 on my way back from the dealer when I bought it, and that was like wide open throttle for minutes on end. Yes, I had a little help with the downhill there, but I felt like that was a very smooth acceleration all the way up to about 60 miles an hour, at least on the clock. But I brought my drag meter too, so I have some verified results. And I'm also glad I brought my earplugs, because wide open throttle or close to, even with the Yoshi exhaust with the baffle in, it is still obnoxiously loud. But yeah, definitely wear earplugs. Hopefully this Jeep sees me. There we go. And it's always great to have, that might have been a good spot to do some quick acceleration tests. But I'll just do wide open throttle here to see if we can get to 60 miles an hour, or even beat that 62, or at least what it read here. I know it's not 100% accurate, but we're in full tuck now. There's 62. It's just, it is not very fast. That's why like 0 to 45 is definitely the best, like continual mile per hour to hit on this bike, 0 to 45, because every time I can hit 45. 55 is a question, 60 is well, you got to get kind of lucky to hit 60 on the Grom. 0 to 45 there in 10.32. It wasn't pretty out of first gear. I redlined it, I hit the rev limiter. So 10.32. That one was 10.43, so not quite as good as my 10.23, even though I botched the red line on first gear the first time. So, all right, this is my last shot here. That definitely felt like my fastest time yet, but it said 11.1 there, even though I felt like I did everything right. It's all about getting a really hard launch, and unless you're a pro or you've done it a million times, which I haven't on my Grom, It's far more difficult to launch a motorcycle continuously and at a high level compared to an automobile. So yeah, I got 10.23, I think was my fastest, and we'll do the installation real quick and then throw this back on the acceleration test to see if we saw any sort of top speed gains or acceleration gains. So roughly a 5 mile per hour increase on top speed. I think it's absolutely, which makes I'm looking at the BMW over there. It makes this absolutely worth the upgrade. Now it's only about 150 bucks or so if you send in your ECU, or I want to say about 250 bucks or so if you order a new ECU from DHM to go along with your custom exhaust and your modified air intake. That is what is it, an S1000R? Super beautiful bike. Do you think we could take him in a race? I think there's a likelihood. There's a likelihood we'll beat him in miles per gallon. That's about it. And maybe the cute factor. I mean, easily able to keep up with the speed of traffic accelerating, or the average speed of traffic in my area. And it pulls much harder to 7,000 RPM now, maybe even 8,000. I'm so used to shifting around 6,000 to 7,000 RPM that I might be able to ring this out a little bit better as I get used to it. But the more I ride it, the more I can feel the differences between stock ECU and, like I said, it's a cheap upgrade. It's way cheaper than the exhaust. You can probably get a cheaper exhaust than this Yoshi exhaust, and get this tune, and you're gonna get instantly unlock an extra 4 to 5 miles per hour, and then I would say acceptable acceleration to keep up with traffic up to about 45-50 miles an hour, with the top speed now of just over 60. Like I said, 65 on the clock here, but GPS tested it's probably about 3 or 4 less than that, so you're able to crack 60 pretty consistently now, where it was pretty much impossible previously unless you had a downhill slope. So yeah, big fan of this tune. I wasn't sure about it, but now I'm sold on it. Send your ECU in. I think it might even make some big improvements with stock configuration, but most of us, when you get a Grom, you're doing some mods with it. You're changing out the exhaust so you can at least be heard, and it is a no-brainer upgrade to get this ECU from DHM. I'm not sponsored by them. I paid my own money for this. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Honestly, every single upgrade I've done so far, I feel like has been worth the money. Maybe not the bars. The bars are cool. They make the bike look cooler, but they also increase the flickability. But the time I had to put into it and the tools I had to buy to get the bars swapped out, it's not going to be worth it for most people. But the intake, the DHM stealth intake, I think is what it is. The Yoshi exhaust is expensive, but worth it because the sound is awesome and it lightens the bike considerably. And now this ECU tune, all of them were worth the price. The cam is a very cheap upgrade too, but I just don't feel like doing any extra work. Yes, it would probably help me get to maybe an extra 5 miles per hour, which maybe it is worth it. Maybe when I'm bored of this, I'll go ahead and put the cam on. But for now, I'm really happy. And if I do the cam too, I'm going to have to retune the ECU, which to me, just sounds like too much work for not a lot of gains at that point. I'll definitely update you guys later to see, because apparently, you know, this ECU will make the bike run more efficient too. So I'll be able to tell you if I'm getting better fuel economy. My first fill up was around 107, 108 miles per gallon, and we'll see what this next fuel up is going to be. It's probably going to be right around there, but the new ECU is supposed to improve that as well. But I'm going to sign out with one last little acceleration to keep up with traffic here. And yeah, this matrix in front of this RAV4 is a slug. There's nothing I can do, you know? And that's, you know, for this situation, the Grom is enough acceleration up to about 45 mile an hour speed limits. Anything more, and it's just not cut out for that. So it's a perfect city bike, and man, is it lots of fun. But I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to see more Grom stuff, let me know. I'm happy to do more Grom videos. I'm pretty much done with my build, I think. There's just maybe one or two more small upgrades, like the chain tensioner. I want to swap that out with the TST Industries chain tensioner. But other than that, I'm pretty much done with the bike. So I'll see you guys down below. Maybe I'll do some ownership updates and review if you guys want to see that, because I've had this bike for a few months. So I'll see you guys down below, and I'll see you in the next moto vlog on the Honda Grom. Don't forget, I'm also getting a larger bike here on the channel. Supposedly next month if it comes into the dealer. So I'll be able to do some larger motorbike coverage for you guys. But signing out from the little Grom. Catch you in the next one. Peace.